Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Then at some point, I was invited, which is why I'm telling you all this, to participate in sacrifices abroad. That was the breaking point. Children.
You were asked to do that?
Yes. And I couldn't do that.
Here we are, sitting here tonight live on the Turner Radio Network, discoursing about people, discoursing about things, being honest and truthful, and telling the truth to the masses. But you know, the masses have a hard time believing anything. Well, we've done a great brainwashing job on them over the centuries, and especially the last few hundred years. We've just brainwashed them completely. They believe anything we tell them. And, you know, and I mean, we have a lot of fun around Passover where we steal the children. And, you know, I know you know because I've heard it on your show before. I mean, we steal 100 to 300,000 children a year just here in this country. And we drain the blood and we mix it with the Passover bread. And then we throw the bodies into the slaughterhouses that we own. And we grind up all the bodies in the sausage and the hamburger. McDonald's is one of our favorite outlets. And the people, they eat it for breakfast. They eat their children for lunch. You've been teaching the people real good, but they don't wake up, do they? You don't get a lot of followers, do they? Because you know why? They're scared. Well, that's very interesting. I understand that. But I also know the bloodletting. I know that on your Passover, which isn't mine, that a lot of little children do disappear, and I do know that, and I know a lot of police departments and agencies have been informed, but you're very open. You're very open tonight. I'm very surprised that you're talking about the bloodletting of the little children, that you put their blood in the matzah balls, and that you eat it on sacrifice on Passover. Well, there was a goyim that wrote a book about it back in the 30s. I forget his name at the moment. But anyway, he wrote the book. People did, and so that's why we can do whatever we want to do, and we can get away with it because the white men are cowards.
And I also was in contact with those circles, only I laughed at it because to me they were just clients. So, I went to places called Churches of Satan.
So now we are talking about Satanism.
Yes. So, I visited these churches, just as a visitor, dropped by. And then they were doing their holy mass with naked woman and liquor and stuff. And it just amused me. I didn't believe in any of this stuff, and was far from convinced if any of this was real.
It was just a spectacle to you.
Yes. In my opinion, the darkness and evil is within the people themselves. I didn't make the connection yet. So I was a guest in those circles and it amused me greatly to see all those named women and the other things. It was the good life. Then at some point, I was invited, which is why I'm telling you all this, to participate in sacrifices abroad. That was the breaking point. Children.
You were asked to do that?
Yes. And I couldn't do that. But that is the world I found myself in.
But it's not for you goyim to know, but right now it's too late. It's over for you white race. So that's why I'm speaking so honestly here, to bring it out into the open so that you can see it for what it is.
Y'all, what is it gonna take? What is it gonna take for us to listen? I'm like sick to my stomach, okay? I've heard the rumors and I'm guilty of it, taking my kids to go eat at McDonald's, but today took my girls to go get their normal Happy Meals and got a 10-piece for my 6-year-old, and she bit down into one of her chicken nuggets and she says that, she hurt her teeth. And so I'm looking at it and I pull this out. She pulls this out. She hands it to me, Kay. And I'm freaking out. Baby, where's your tooth? What happened? How'd you lose a tooth? How did you lose a tooth in your chicken nuggets? It's not her tooth, y'all. This is not my baby's tooth. But this is a baby's tooth. This was someone's baby's tooth. This is disgusting, and this is what we're eating. This is what we're feeding our kids. This is a human tooth. This is a baby tooth, and I say baby no more than 6 years old. This is a tooth. Y'all, this is a baby tooth, and we're eating this shit. And you motherfuckers are still gonna go continue to eat from there.
We take the children of our enemy, which is the white race, and we bring them to the basements in the synagogues where we drain the blood and watch them die there. It's very similar to how we do the sacrifices that we do with the kosher butchering, and so we do that, and then we mix it with the Passover bread, and so we eat the blood of our enemies. And the bodies, we're not cannibals, so what we do is we take those, because we can make some shekels, and we give them to the slaughterhouses, and those are pounds and pounds and pounds of meat that we grind up in the sausage and the hamburger, and that's why we made those the most popular thing, sausage for breakfast and hamburger for lunch. And so all the goyim out here are really eating their children. And even when we say this outright and tell you people, you don't believe it. So that's your problem.
This is a combo bin of meat. A combo bin is 2,000 pounds approximately of meat that's coming in from a boning facility where they take it off the carcass and put it into here.
The meat in these boxes comes from many different animals and many different places. Some is even from overseas. All of it is ground together to make the juicy hamburger Americans love. Hamburger used to be the scraps left over from butchering just one cow. But a significant change has occurred. Now, parts of many cows are blended together by the ton.
If we take the meat from one animal, grind it up and make ground beef from just one animal, we're including only the bacteria from one animal. But if we take the meat from 1,000 different animals and grind that together, we're pooling the bacteria from 1,000 different animals as well.
So explain this to me. How many different cows would be in one burger?
Well, I suspect that there are hundreds or even thousands of animals that have contributed to a single hamburger.
This is a combo bin of meat.
This is one of my children's teeth. Right? You see that? Stop playing. Stop playing, son. You mother effers love Mickey D's that much? You love it that much? That you can't stand to hear or see something like that? Shut up. Go home and cook your food.
So another episode of a lady finding a teeth in her McDonald's, bro. Enough is enough, bro. We need to stay the fuck away from this veneer meat.
In school, and I said, you know what? Me and my son, we're gonna go to McDonald's, and I'm gonna get me and my baby something to eat, and then I'm gonna get me a cheesecake from Food Line. I go to McDonald's. Why did I get me a steak, egg, and cheese biscuit? And this is in my fucking biscuit, in my steak biscuit. What is this? What is this? And it's hard. This is hard. Do you see that? You see? Do y'all see that? It's hard.
Only concern here with this whole McDonald's, situation here. I believed all these people 100% with the teeth, 100%. That's a given. But the problem I'm seeing is no one's in an uproar about whose teeth are they. Like, we know they're children's. So what these people that are finding that, like, you're not hearing anyone being like, hey, let's get to the bottom of who has these children, why do they have children's teeth, where did they get these children's teeth, and these people, why are they killing them, slaughtering them, and these poor freaking children. Imagine that being your fate of your child. If you have kids, imagine that. Imagine your child ends up in a freaking McDouble or Big Mac in some fat obese guy's mouth, and he's chomping down, you know, stuffing his face full of your child's flesh and teeth and body parts. So yeah, this stuff's hard. It's not easy to listen to this stuff. It's not easy, but you need to be aware of what the reality is, man, because this is why they get away with it, because you guys don't believe it. It's real. You just go, oh, that's way too crazy. Oh, that's nuts. That's so stupid, without looking into it for yourself. You never do your own research. You could care less about any of these problems that's going on. You just stick your head in the sand, live in your little bubbles, and pretend like, you know, everything's fine and good and butterflies and rainbows. And that's just not the world that we find ourselves in. And you have a responsibility to be a part of this world and assist these innocents, right? Failure to act is... Silence is consent. And if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
I had dinner last night with a package of Aldi's, like, Italian sausage, like the little ground one that comes in like the plastic packaging. And when my husband was eating it, we found what appears to be a human tooth in the meat. Had it verified with a dentist. She says, yes, it is a human tooth. So now, what the fuck, right? Like, is a body in the meat grinder that I just fed my family? So when he bit into it, it broke in half. But you can see the pulp chamber, and you can see, the enamel, and you can see that it's a freaking tooth.
At McDonald's. Which McDonald's did you order from?
Hall Road.
Hall Road in Macomb Township, Michigan. What the hell is this? Definitely gonna keep this in. I do not know.
Ugh. Looks so nasty.
And there's hair in it.
Where?
Look in the picture of the video. You see the hair? What the frick? Is your sister eating this shit?
No, the hair may have been from you.
No, that is not from you. It's embedded in the
bread.
food. Yes. This is disgusting. We will definitely be contacting corporate McDonald's about this.
I digress. Keep eating McDonald's. Keep eating McDonald's. And you guys, and it's no wonder people are acting so nuts out there, dude. Like, they're acting crazy. They're losing their minds because they're eating their own children. They're cannibals. You're eating human flesh. What do you think's gonna happen? And this too. This is something else. There ain't that many cows, dude. Look at how much meat Americans consume. The average American household, how much meat do they consume? Go to your local supermarket and go to the meat section. It's always stocked full of meat. Never a shortage, never a wait on meat. It's always packed right up to the gills full of meat. There ain't that many cows. I've driven across this country, man. There is not that many cows in this country. So what are you eating?
Bro, did y'all hear about the McDonald's?
If someone served part of this story next hour.
They found genetic DNA evidence of children's teeth in the food, in the burgers, which linked it back to, not Wisconsin, Missouri or Wyoming, one of those states that's in the middle of nowhere, where they actually found human meat inside one of the processing plants at McDonald's. And they said, we're not sure how it's happened. Maybe somebody fell in there and they haven't reported it. But between McDonald's closing, the reports of the Japanese McDonald's try to pass the buck, try to blame it on the Americans, saying we got the food from the USA. It didn't come from here. And then they said, oh, you know what? That's probably somebody playing a prank. But they're closing a lot of branches down at McDonald's. And McDonald's traditionally, Nick, in the last 40, 50 years has been one of the safest franchises you could buy. Because what they do is they do a very, very detailed demographic study of where you're going to put these McDonald's, about the income of the people, where they are, the population. They don't just put them randomly. They're very, very specific about where they are. So human meat in the McDonald's food, including children's teeth that have been ground up and put in there. Very disturbing.
Why?
But why? It's where they hide the bodies. That's what they're saying. You know how many children disappear every year? Where are they going to hide? Say there's 250,000 children disappear in America every year. Where are all the bodies? You know, most people think, what are they going to do? Drive them along the highway? They always get discovered. They never bury them deep enough. You've got weather conditions that expose them. Animals expose them. It's hard. You'd be surprised how difficult it is to hide a body. And I'll tell you why I know, Nick, because there's neither North or South Carolina. There's the body farm. Now, the FBI they use this as a training ground. So what happens is when Americans die, they leave the body to science. And what they do in this ground is they put the bodies in different situations. One of them will be left out, one will be semi-buried, one will be fully buried, one will be buried upside down. They do all these experiments about how the decomposing the bodies helps them with the science when they find a murder victim or a body that they're not sure how it died. So, for example, if a larger man dies on his back, they can tell by the insects and how much fat has dripped out of his body underneath, how degraded the grass is and everything, to understand how long he's been decomposing for. So they know all about what happens with these bodies, how they do it. They've got all the forensic science about where they're from. And there's always genetic evidence.
And, you know, as Jews, you know, we gotta do what we do. The most important thing to remember between you, Pastor Wickstrom, and me, Rabbi Finkelstein of New York, that we both have two fathers, and so that's why we look at the world in two different ways. And we know that there's a massive collision that's going to take place between two forces, don't we? Well, that's what your book says. Our book says that we're going to take over the world. Well, I look at you doing a pretty good job right now. Yes, you've done a pretty good job, but you know there's quite an awakening coming. And my father, who's not your father, my father Yahweh, who isn't your father, of course your father is talked about by my father in John 8:44, stating that your father was Satan and that you're the descendant of Cain, who was the first murderer. And you know that's true because you teach it in your synagogue. But we send your kids to the public school. We even have you tax yourself from your property so that you never own your property. And so if you don't make your property tax, we're going to take your property. You can bet on that. And we have you put your kid in a 12-year babysitting is about all it does because you don't learn anything. And then by that time, the kids, they get to be teenagers, and then we give them the music. Not that we really want to call it music because, oy vey, that's not music. But they listen to that, and then they want to do what they want to do, and so we sell them drugs, and we make a lot of money off your children. Your children from cradle to grave. All we do is make money off of them. Your cattle, your goyim, the human cattle. Mazel tov.
You know how McDonald's has 100% beef and how they have a company called All Beef?
They do?
Yeah, so they have a company called All Beef that supplies their meat.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So saying it's all beef and 100% beef is just saying that they're using their company, not necessarily using real meat. And what's even crazier, they found remnants of soy, which is interesting. And on top of that, when you eat a McDonald's hamburger, you're not eating beef from one cow.
What you mean?
You're eating beef from 1,000 different cows in one burger because it's just ground and put all together.
That's not bad though, right? How
is
would
that
be bad?
not crazy? That's 1,000 different cows, fam.
Actually, yeah.
My teeth are healthy. None of my teeth came out.
Bone apple teeth.
Update on the food from yesterday.
I am officially done with McDonald's breakfast. No more sausage for us over here. The Reese's, we done. We done. I'm tired of McDonald's sausage sandwiches. You got it. I don't know, but what is this?
Oh, you keep moving it.
Like somebody veneer, like, you know how they put them things on the front of people's teeth?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looked like. I had to spit it out. It was so hard.
Here we go. The reason why you should always check the meat you get from fast food restaurants. Why do I say that? Because you don't know. Just take a look at this video.
I just ordered me some food.
What is that?
I just ordered me.
Yeah, McDonald's, count your days.
So I found this tooth inside of my stuffed pepper from Costco. And I called them and they said, you can go ahead and bring the tooth in and we'll refund you the $20 for your stuffed pepper. They're gonna refund me $20 for finding a tooth in my food. What in the world?
Just found out McDonald's has contracts with like hospitals.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
For what?
No, it's like, I don't know. That's why I don't know. But McDonald's has contracts with hospitals, and I'm like, yo, there's been stories where a mom finds like a tooth in the McDonald's Happy Meal burger and shit like that. So like connecting to the KFC, we are chicken. Is it trying to say that like, oh, they're feeding, we're the mystery meat? Like, are we the mystery meat?
Wait, they're putting like human flesh?
Yeah, because there's only 100,000 cemeteries in America, right?
Yeah.
But there's so many deaths. So where are the bodies going? And this guy literally had to delete his video because the graveyard CEOs were like, nah, this can get you fired.
Oh, shit.
That's real like tinfoil though. Like you do your research. There's something called Soylent Green. I can't even get into that because even the TikTok guy I was listening to said she couldn't explain it. But go look at that movie.
So you think in the chicken nuggets, because it's just like the pink slime and stuff.
Yeah, like
they put let's say 99% chicken and then they put like 1% like human.
Yeah. I don't know though, but that's like the theory.
So it's confirmed McDonald's has contracts with
that's
like
what everybody was saying in the thing.
I could see that being a thing, but not because of that.
Just found out McDonald's.
They don't understand. That is.
When your whole appetite gets ruined because you try a rib and your teeth scoop into marrow. Why? Why was the bone broken?
Never.
I'm going to turn into a zombie now. Yuck. Made my everything crawl and my soul sick.
Alright, so I was eating this spaghetti or whatever, and I was chewing the ground beef or whatever, and I just felt something mad hard. I bit into something dumb hard. I like worked my way around it, and I spit the hard shit out of my mouth, pause. And this was what it was. And like, up close, it looked like a tooth. I don't know if it's going to like focus. A tooth or a bone. I don't know. I'm leaning more towards tooth. And like my teeth are healthy.
My quick, so you can tell me what this is that he bit into. Got that, and please tell me what that is. It don't even break. Exactly.
It's not his tooth?
No, it's not.
You're the manager?
His tooth broke.
Yeah, I am the manager.
And it's still some in here because we felt inside the waffle. You see that? It's some more in there. You see that? What is it? It's some more. And some more.
That's crazy.
Exactly.
I don't know.
So for her to be laughing,
we weren't laughing at you.
Listen, I heard what she said. I heard what she said.
She said, he said his tooth broke, and she started laughing. And that shit.
Yeah, but that wasn't me.
And then you said,
yeah, but
what you want me to do about it?
I wasn't talking about you. I was having another conversation with another server, but she came up to me.
So what we gonna do?
They've already gone.
What we gonna do about this
already?
What we gonna do about it? What can you do?
I don't know what to do about it, actually.
just paid like $60.
$60 for food that we can't even eat.
You ordered
for y'all to laugh.
Okay, we were not laughing at you.
That's a lot. You keep saying that.
That's a lot. I promise.
They're
They, yeah, they're.
And you know, as Jews, you know, we gotta do what we do. The most important thing to remember between you, Pastor Wickstrom, and me, Rabbi Finkelstein of New York, that we both have two fathers, and so that's why we look at the world in two different ways. And we know that there's a massive collision that's going to take place between two forces, don't we? Well, that's what your book says. Our book says that we're going to take over the world. Well, I look at you. Pretty good job right now. Yes, you've done a pretty good job, but you know there's quite an awakening coming. And my father, who's not your father, my father Yahweh, who isn't your father, of course, your father is talked about by my father in John 8:44, stating that your father was Satan and that you're the descendant of Cain, who was the first murderer. And you know that's true because you teach it in your synagogue. Well, that's true, but it's not for you Goyim to know. But right now it's too late. It's over for you white race. So that's why I'm speaking so honestly here, to bring it out into the open so that you can see it for what it is. You've been teaching the people real good, but they don't wake up, do they? You don't get a lot of followers, do they? Because you know why? They're scared of us Jews, because they don't want to be called anti-Semites, and they believe that we're the chosen people, and so that's why we can do whatever we want to do, and we can get away with it, because the white men are cowards, and we go to the synagogue all the time and have some Manischewitz and dance the Hava Megillah. You know, it's interesting. I've told people for years and years, it's not that you Jews are hiding anything. You're coming right out on television, in the newspapers, on the radio, and you're telling the people exactly what you're going to do before you do it, and they're like they're brain dead. Well, we did a good job with the public school system. We got you to put all of your children in there. You notice that the Jew doesn't put his children in there. They go to the Hebrew Academy where we teach them the real things, and then they go to the synagogue and they learn the real important things. But we send your kids to the public school. We even have you tax yourself from your property so that you never own your property. And so if you don't make your property tax, we're going to take your property. You can bet on that. And we have you put your kid in a 12-year babysitting is about all it does, because you don't learn anything. And then by that time, the kids, they get to be teenagers, and then we give them the music. Not that we really want to call it music, because, oy vey, that's not music. But they listen to that, and then they want to do what they want to do, and so we sell them drugs, and we make a lot of money off your children. Your children from cradle to grave. All we do is make money off of them. Your cattle, your goyim, the human cattle, mazel tov. And by the book, people don't want to listen. We've been doing this for thousands and thousands of years, since down to Adam's time.
Mithrandir, why the halfling?
I do not know. Saruman believes that it is only a great power that can hold evil in check. But that is not what I have found. I found it is the small things, everyday deeds of ordinary folk, that keeps the darkness at bay. Simple acts of kindness and love.
Little puppy, what's up here? Hey, hi.
Why,
Hey, little girl.
Bilbo Baggins?
Where'd mommy go?
Perhaps it is because I'm afraid. And it gives me courage.
I'm telling you, God is looking for some people, violent warriors. I'm looking for some spiritual snipers. I'm looking for some spiritual warriors that are not going to be okay with status quo.
KMF like 100D, walking power like we run the streets. I don't fear what can be done to me, cause I've been dead, it's the sun in me.